I just got tired of that same old job, tired of fighting that freeway mob. I bet you never thought I'd really go. I'd never get as far as Mexico. King of the road.
Howdy, folks. Jim King of the TV and radio here. I've got a special treat for you today, and some of you folks here in Southeast Texas are definitely going to recognize this guy, not just from national exposure on the media, but you have a lot of connections in our neck of the woods, don't you, Eddy Raven?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of friends there, and that part of Texas is not too far from Louisiana.
No, and you grew up in Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette's my hometown, but actually a little town right out of Lafayette, about 10 miles between Abbeville and Lafayette, called Maurice. I was one of, my graduating class was 22, and you're 22, and you are not looking at the valedictorian. You know?
Yeah, I want to ask you a few questions about Southeast Texas, because when I spoke to you back in 2012 at Jasper, you told me that you had a friend here that was on the radio. I used to be on the radio for about a decade here on the air, and I think his name was the Night Rider, Steve-O.
Steve O'Donohoe.
Yeah.
He was in Port Arthur, I think.
Yeah, and you said you went down there one day and met Janis Joplin.
I sure did, at night.
Yeah.
No, see, he had those all night, late night shows, and I had a friend that worked for Gulf Oil. I was still in high school or just out of high school, and I would come here and spend a week there at my buddy Tim's house, and I went to the radio station. I met Steve O'Donohoe, and we were there one night, and he said, there's knocking on the door. He said, get that door, Eddie. So I got it, and there she was, standing there, right, and I said, hello, I'm Janis Joplin. I said, I know. What are you doing here?
I guess she was already famous then.
Oh, yeah, we knew who she was. And he said, so Steve was hollered at her, and she came in, and he said, she and I do this a lot when she's in town. She'll come over and talk to the fans. I said, well, she probably wants to talk to you too. He said, oh yeah, so we have a good relationship. And she was just breaking out, you know.
I'm real excited about your new music video, I Got Mexico. That was your first #1 hit back in 1982.
That was a big record for us, and it's going on to it's like a #1 record in Belgium and in Germany and overseas, and so it's just never gone away. It's just one of those lucky songs that you run into every now and then.
And we're going to play the video in just a moment.
Okay.
I got to meet the band, Soul Circus Cowboys. They came through.
Soul Circus Cowboys.
Yeah, they came through Beaumont a couple of weeks ago, and we had Frank J. Myers and Billy McKnight and Rick Morgan. Great band.
Well, you know, Frank played lead for me for like 11 years.
I know.
And he and I ran this road together since he first came to town. He called and said he heard I was looking for a guitar player, and I said, yeah, sure. We were putting a new band together, and he fit right in, knew all the parts and everything.
In just a moment, we'll play the new cover of I Got Mexico by Soul Circus Cowboys featuring Eddy Raven. But first, here's the story behind the song from Eddy Raven himself.
That's one of those songs that just doesn't go away. I mean, it's a true story. I had the idea coming back from Nashville in traffic jam, and it hit me, you know, why not, you know, this, I'm just tired of all this, and sure, that's where it came. Just got tired of the same old job, and earlier than that, my son and I were coming back from Nashville, and we saw this car pulled over on the side of the road with a truck behind it, and they were having trouble, so we got out and helped. Well, it's Garth Brooks, and Garth was helping this lady.
Wow.
With her car, trying to get her out, and he said, Eddie, you get out, man, you're gonna get sick, get out. It was raining, and I said, not yet, Garth. So we helped him push the girl's car on the side and got her situated, and we left. But yeah, so that's where that song kind of came in amongst all that traveling to Nashville and back, and that's the way that goes. But that's about all I know.